Right now, I'm just going to reinforce come. When you're teaching come, you want to teach it on a long lead, at least 20 foot, 25 foot, 30 foot, because you're going to need to guide them, but also you want them to make a decision on their own. So it's very important that you get a long lead to do this. I recommend a biothane collar for their neck, and you can find that in my Amazon list. As my Amazon influencer program, I have a list of my preferred dog items. And so you can find that biothane collar on there. It's water resistant, non-slip, and it's really the best thing for training. Especially if you're a trainer, you don't want someone's dog to slip out of their collar while you're training them. Okay, so we are working towards off-leash training with her. I'm not gonna take her off-leash until she's comfortable in all environments, which is gonna take quite a bit of work just because she's not confident. She's a little nervous around noises and things like that. So we'll see how far she goes. I really believe in her. When I'm teaching come, I'm going to gently lead her and guide her in as I say come, and then I'm going to put her directly into a sit. So in the next video, I will do sit and help you troubleshoot with dogs who don't want to sit, and then we'll do come sit together in one video. Come. Good girl, sit. Yes. Come sit, good girl. Break, good girl. Come. Yes. Come sit, good girl. Good girl. Break. So notice she didn't move until I broke her out of her command. Come. Good. Sit. Yes. Come sit, good girl. Break. Okay. So you'll notice she already remembers from our first lesson that I did with her that sit is a built-in command. When I'm saying come, notice I'm using a neutral tone and not a high-pitched tone or a low-pitched tone. I'm simply saying come. All obedience commands are to be in neutral tones. So then when I give her her reward that she's working for, that break, then I say that in a positive tone. So what would I do if she didn't come on the first time called? I would just gently lead her and praise her the whole time that she's coming to me, even though I'm leading her into that come. So let's see how she does. And she's a dope shepherd mix, so she's not gonna leave my side long enough for me to be able to say it. Good girl. Okay, sit. Good girl. Good girl. And I'm going a little slow with her just because I know, sit. Good girl. I know that she's nervous here, so I don't want to just push and push and push her while we're here. But she's doing a great job. Sit. So you'll notice right now I'm being very intentional about how I'm holding her leash. I'm not putting any tension on it because the moment I do, she will pop up because she understands that when there's leash pressure, that means that she needs to do something that she's not doing. So I'm being very intentional. Just put that part of the leash on the ground while she's holding a command so that you don't drag her out of it and then get upset and wonder why she's not holding the command. Sit, good girl. Break, good girl, good girl, yeah, good job. So the cool thing about teaching commands, even if you're teaching sit in a public place, come on, Miss Clingy. You can see her tail's tucked. She hears a fire truck. So she definitely needs the desensitization. But whenever I am having her sit, she actually was holding that, and that was a duration sit. So we'll just build in duration by saying, okay, sit, and then I'll have her hold that for a certain amount of time and break her and do it again and add 2 seconds and break her and do it again and add a couple seconds. And eventually you can get up to an hour. To a couple of my dogs hold their place or a sit or a down for 2 hours. I don't require dogs to sit that long because sitting is just awkward. Like, why not lay down if you're going to hold it for an extended period of time? You're just kind of setting your dog up for failure if you're just going to have them sit forever, because then they're going to forget and want to lay down naturally, because that's what we do. So when they go into that really relaxed resting phase. So when I'm teaching sit, if I have a dog who does not listen to the sit command, in other words, they don't understand it, because a lot of people will say, my dog's not listening, they're being stubborn, they're not doing it. I would say 90% of the time it's because they don't really understand the command. So we have had trainers, do things a certain number multiple number of ways, but I'm going to show you the way that I believe works the best. So I combine positive training with reinforcement. So it is a balance training method, but right here I'm doing a lot of positive reinforcement. I'm not really doing any negative reinforcement at all, simply because she's scared. So I'm going to back up where you can see her. I'm just close to the camera because I know that it's hard to hear. So I'm going to back up to where you can see her, and then I'm going to lead her into a sit. When I'm teaching a dog this for the first time, I'm going to go ahead and use treats. Why not? Sit, good girl. Why not use treats? You want to find a treat or a reward that works best for them, but go ahead and use your treat. Guide her nose up into a sit like this. Come. Good girl. So I'm going to guide her nose up. And then she already knows the command, but typically you would continue to just guide that nose up. And then I'm going to take the other hand while I'm guiding up with this one and just gently show her what I want her to do on her bottom. Just be very gentle. Break. Just be very gentle. This has nothing to do with getting a dog to listen to you or forcing a command. If anything, it's about communication and learning how you can talk to that dog better to help them understand what you're asking them to do. So if you're training your dog, or if you're a dog trainer in general, always step away if your emotions get out of whack. Excuse me. If your emotions get out of whack where you can't just communicate with the dog, if you try to have a power struggle, then it's time for you to stop training for a little while, get your head on your shoulders, and come back in the game. So the importance of doing come and sit together, pretty big deal, because a dog that doesn't sit when they come will just go right past you. So what's the point of having them come? Come is very important to teach, or recall is very important to teach, because if there is, like, we're right here by a road. So if she were to run out to this road, which I know she's not because she's a little clingy one, but if she were to run out to this road right now, she knows come so well that she would most likely come back to me immediately. I haven't done a whole lot of training with her yet. I think we've only done 2 sessions. Yeah, we've only done 2 sessions with her. So, you know, I just want to make sure that she's good to go before I do that. And also she's very scared. So until she's confident, I'm not going to take her off leash and have her do that. But regardless, if she were to slip out of my hands, she needs to know what come is. It's very important that dogs know come for a multiple number of reasons, but the number one reason is safety. So think about it. If you are teaching your dog come for the reason of safety, there's most likely going to be a scenario where you need to say that, and it's going to be while they're distracted. It's not going to be when everything's calm, there's no rain, the wind's not blowing, there's no smells for them to follow, it's not moist in the air, there's not birds flying around. Like, there's going to be cars, kids, birds, trucks, you know, whatever the noise may be, a ball. If you haven't seen it, I did record a video with Anna Bear beside a tennis ball court, able to hold a perfect heel. We worked through desensitizing her. So that's a cool video if you want to go check it out on our site. So with come, we want to practice it everywhere we go. So my recommendation is to my clients is to practice come 10 to 15 minutes a day. And anywhere you're going to travel, or any park you like to go, or any store you like to go to that allows dogs, go ahead and take them there. You know, and work with them a few times on come sit before you even go. And then you're going to be a lot more likely to have a good trip or a picnic out or whatever it is. And then they know that park for the rest of their life. But it's really important that you go ahead and reinforce come in every environment. Every time I go out to a new place, I just do come sits just to get them focused, give their mind something to focus on and their body something to physically do to get any stress out from the distractions that may be around them there. So let's go ahead and get into this. Come, good girl. Good come, good girl. Sit. 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 So you see that she's not listening. I'm just going to guide her up with the collar right here. And I'm going to just gently, I didn't even have to touch her, but she knew what I was leading her to do based on where I pulled her collar up. Break. Good girl. I'm not going to give her a lot of praise during that because she didn't obey on the first time. But she did still do it. Sit. Yes. I went ahead and did a reminder, and when I said sit, I was just simply holding up the collar or the leash at the same time to provide a little bit of tension for her. Come sit, good girl. Come sit, good girl. Great. Okay, so when you have a dog like her who's nervous, who doesn't want to be separated from you, which is most German Shepherds and most Dobes, it just depends on the Dobe really. They can be either way. So she's got both the Shepherd and the Dobe in her, which is saying, I need to be with you at all times. You're my safe place. But what I want her to understand is that she can have an identity completely separate from me. She is beautiful in how she was made. She is whole. She is okay. Nothing's trying to harm her right now, but she lives in this world of fear anyway. And so when it comes to things like reactivity and things like that, we really need to stop and think, and like, do we really want to just take them to a trainer who's going to stim them with an e-collar every time that they get scared? No, we don't. So there are amazing e-collar trainers out there. I love using the e-collar. My e-collar that I prefer to use is not a stim, it's not a shock. There's no shock involved. So you want to really research if you're going to do that. Feel free to send me a message, Brandi at ExpertTraining.org, and you can get more information on the one that I use, or you can find it on my list on Amazon. That is in the description. You can click on my dog Amazon list for my preferred items, and you can click on the e-collar that I like there. Now, I don't prefer that you use that unless you're going to watch my other videos where you learn how to properly use it so that you don't further damage your dog in training them the improper way. So that video is there for you, how to use an e-collar. I hope to do another one a little better soon. But you saw right there a couple minutes ago how she didn't want to sit at first. So all I did was just hold the collar up to guide her into that sit position. And then I was just gonna, put just a little tiny bit of pressure on her bum so that she would understand what I want her to do. So now that she's starting to calm down a little bit, we're gonna do repetition, 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 and I'll come back and troubleshoot with you if I need to. Come. Good girl, sit. Great girl. Okay, so you'll see that she held it that right there. I'm gonna tell you what I remembered to say from earlier was that if they're clingy, then all you have to do is reinforce stepping away and don't allow them to sit on you or lean on you, because we want them to be perfectly okay being themselves without feeling like they need to rely on you for safety. They need to know that they're okay within who they are by themselves. So start going ahead and stepping away and not allowing them to be near you, on top of you all the time. It's cute, but it's actually an insecurity, and we want to make them whole in who they are. Now, the other thing that you can do is have another friend or trainer work them as well. While you're at a different space in the room, you can be watching, but they need to be worked in the room where you're at, away from you, so that they start to understand, I can be away from mom, but I still have to obey these commands, no matter who I'm with, and it's okay for me to be over here away from mom or dad. So I'm gonna step away right now because she's leaning on me. I'm gonna go ahead and start using the e-collar. We've been here about 30-45 minutes, and she is now starting to chill out. She's showing me some more relaxed signs here at the park. So I'm gonna go ahead and reintroduce the e-collar to her. She knows what it is, so this is not an introduction lesson, but I'm gonna go ahead and start using it again in this lesson. We're gonna build some duration and distance with the sit command. Come. Good. Sit, good girl. Good sit, good girl. Great. Good girl. Good job. that so that she wouldn't have had to be corrected out of that position. So I prevented that from happening. So that's the difference between a good trainer and a great trainer, is when you can catch those little things that are happening before they happen so that they don't actually succeed in disobeying what you're asking them not to do. Sit. Good girl. Sit. So I'm just going to take a step away because she keeps trying to get under my feet. I want her to know she's perfectly okay here. Good, sit, good girl. Good, sit, good girl. Sit. Sit. So right there she broke her command. Sit. Sit. Good, sit. So she broke her command there because there's people here and I was walking away and I'm her safe place. So we're gonna really have to work on duration and distance. That's the distance thing is the hardest thing for her because she is that clingy shepherd, which I have several of them. I love them. They're my favorite breed besides boxers and huskies. So it is what it is. I want to do this video to show you the in-between, what happens when trainers post these crazy awesome videos of the end result and where they start at when they're in training. So there's a lot of work like this that goes on where we see, okay, this is her insecurities and this is where I get to come in and meet that need and boost her confidence so that she's okay obeying this command. To me, it's not about correction, but I do have to correct her so that she understands the boundary that I am drawing. The quicker you can make the correction, the quicker she's going to understand what you're trying to communicate. Dogs are very in the moment type of beings. So that 1 second that goes by after she gets up, her mind is already on to something else. So if I can correct her before she goes on to something else in her mind, then I'm going to be able to clearly communicate what I am expecting from her as her trainer. And I need to teach her the through command because she loves that. Okay, come. Good girl, sit. Sit. So right now I'm just working on getting a little distance, getting some movement in there, making her okay with distractions. Great, good girl, good job. And I'm just gonna give her lots of little wins. The more little wins you get with the dog, the further you're gonna be able to go in training and get those really big, cool wins and cool videos that go viral on YouTube and make their lives just awesome with their new family. So it's really about the small wins. If you're experiencing having to go back to something and you're getting frustrated, not getting the in command, just go back to the basics. It's really worth your time to do that. And it continues to build their confidence as well.